As we've had time, we've been building new tables to actually take full advantage of our magnificent and large new space. And with these new tables, rather than just having them be 2x4 and plywood frame built up, as we were primarily just carpenters 10 years ago, we are now, all the frames are steel. We're still sticking with our nice melamine dry erase, nice smooth surface. We stumbled on this almost accidentally a decade ago, and we like it, so we're staying with that. So one feature that we really like from the old tables is having plugs built into the table, because I really hate tripping over extension cords. So if you can have one cord running through the table, or better yet, actually cut into the concrete, which is coming up soon, to have your power come out under the table, you can have your power strips just built right onto the table. On the old ones, I had just regular 4-gang outlets on there. They were all kind of crowded towards one end, so on the far corner you needed a 3-foot extension cord to get there anyway. So on this one, rather than do all of the wiring by hand, these were only about 30 bucks a piece. So I've got one of these on each side, so you have 8 outlets per side, or 10 outlets per side, which should be plenty of power and plenty of outlets, and from here you can get to pretty much anywhere else on the table. Another feature of the new table is that they are nice and long. These are actually 4'1" by 9'1". We can get the melamine in 5x9. Originally we were going to do the full 5-foot width, so you can get a 4-foot frame on there. But the 5-foot table was, in practice, kind of playing around with roughs on sawhorses, just too wide to be practical. You really can't reach across to get anything on the other side. So we kind of stuck 4 foot as our limit on the width, but we still have nice long work surface here, and also steel frame again. This is solid. This doesn't move at all, as opposed to the other one, which, well, I'll show you. So as I hope you can see as I have the camera set up here, is that there's nearly a 1/4-inch dip in the middle of our table, because this is an old wood frame. It's been around for 10 years on various bits of uneven concrete floor. It's served us pretty well, but we're upgrading. This is the unfinished frame of the main work table. It's made out of a nice 2-inch square stock, 1/8-inch wall, big burly stuff. And here's something that when I found out they existed, I became a very happy man, because normally, before I knew about these little guys right here, when I did leveling feet on a table or wheels or anything, I would just take a plate, drill a hole through it, weld a nut to the plate, and then weld the plate to the thing, and it's just a lot of extra steps. Whereas with these little prefab guys here, they come in different sizes for your various sizes of square tube. It's done. That was it. Actually, it's done. Haha. There's the bottom. It's got that little star pattern on it. That'll grab into the square stock when I hammer it down. So, gonna put these in while we're upside down. And for the smaller ones, these also come in sizes for 1-inch square stock. You can also get it for 1 1/4, 1 1/2. Pretty much any standard square stock you can have a little foot cover for. I'm not going to hammer these in now because I'm only on paint cans, and that'll probably make a mess. Initially, there's different types of these that have different shaped prongs, and I got some of those for these, but with the 1/8-inch wall, there wasn't enough room inside the tube to hammer those in, so I had to get the little star kinds for these guys as well. So this is called T-molding for a fairly obvious reason. And this goes in that channel that we just cut to make it all nice and smooth. So this is actually what they use on old arcade cabinets, and I'm assuming new ones as well. If they still make those, they probably do. We initially discovered this stuff when we did a whole bunch of display cases for the National Video Game Museum, and we used, I think, literally about 3/4 of a mile of this stuff in a dozen or more cases. It's a lot of it. The only difficult part of this is getting the depth of the blade to your plate set such that when you're routing, you are exactly down the middle of that piece. So that takes some fine tuning with, take a piece of scrap, measure it as well as you can, do a run on it, and then measure off from there with some calipers. Then you're making adjustments on the level of a 64th, a 128th, a 256th, or whatever number of tiny millimeters that is in not freedom units. I'm not going to mess with this right now. Yeah, I'm not going to adjust this to show you moving this right now because this is perfectly set. And whoever moves this plate does so on penalty of death by this router. Painful. And then once it is properly set, just goes right in the middle. A lot of schmutz on my hammer. Or mallet, technically, I guess. All right. And while we're working on the larger main work tables, we're also doing some smaller desks and smaller workstations for the clean rooms. This one is going to go into our molding and casting room, so we don't have to continually break that out, doing all of the detailed mold making stuff in the big old dust-filled cave that is the rest of our shop. Pretty much same style as the old ones. We've got steel frame, wood plywood shelf. There's a plywood deck that the melamine goes on top. We got the T-molding on here. Corners are radiused. We used a Type 1 Dickies cup to get our radius for that. And we have the frame for this one. Just got to get the top and all that. And it's being painted right now, actually. Standing desk that will have our computer at it for doing all of our CAD stuff, so that we can have people just going to that computer out in the main bay rather than having to use my laptop for everything, because that poor little thing is way overworked.
Wow, I was getting really blurry there. Okay, I think I'm in focus now. I can't tell you how good it feels to have a nice solid work surface to, well, work on. Up until now in the new space, we've been just using a piece of plywood over sawhorses, and it gets knocked around when you lean up against it. When you hit it with a hammer, everything jumps up on the table. But these are as close to bomb-proof as we're getting. If we were taking incoming, I would get under here because it's probably my best odds of survival at the moment. This was kind of a sneak peek at our upcoming shop tour video, which as we speak, our front of house is, we're getting that redone to be all nice and, you know, have walls in it because it was just kind of gappy for a while. And so we'll see you soon with that, and we can show you the full working shop in all of its new and magnificent glory. See you then.